Look, Access, I can tell you once and for all, it's true. It is the most dramatic, most explosive season ever. And look, money back guarantee. Call me when this is over, and if you don't agree, I'll give you your money back. But I think you're going to be satisfied. Just at the end of the first episode, when you see that what we call a super tease, where it kind of teases the whole season, your mind is going to explode. So just be prepared for that. You need a good box of wine ready to go.
I know you aren't going to spill on the rumored Tayshia Claire shakeup because you just can't. But what about the guys? How does this year's group of guys compare to Hannah Brown's? Do we have a new Tyler C, or dare I say, do we have another Luke P?
Well, first of all, we literally have a Tyler C. We actually have a Tyler C. And I feel bad for him because, I mean, I don't care how good looking you are, what kind of abs you have. Is it going to be the original Tyler C? I mean, the poor guy. He's a good guy, though. But yeah, I felt so bad when I was going through. I was like, oh, no, Tyler C. And we actually have a Chris, which I don't love having another Chris around. But this is a very different season for a lot of reasons. Obviously, Claire and I were hours away from starting to shoot. When we go into a season, we're casting, then you kind of find out who the Bachelorette's going to be, and it all kind of rolls in. You do the best you can. Well, once we hit the pause button, that gave us 6.5 months to stop, go back to the drawing board, and go back and recast the show just for Claire. So a little bit different in that everybody that arrives night one knows about Claire, is only there for Claire, and knows it's going to be her. So that was a little bit different than other seasons. Matt James will be a little bit of the same because we announced him so early, but typically that's not the case. And, you know, some people know or you hear about it, but you didn't know during the casting process. So it gave us the ability to make, you know, this cast a little more age appropriate, more diverse. And I don't just mean racially, but also from around the entire country, age-wise, up and down, older, younger. So it really is a great group of guys, maybe the best group of guys we've ever had, just as far as what we have to offer and where they are in their life and ready to find love.
You said they're a great group of guys, but there is always a villain.
Of course.
Of course. So is there a clear villain this season? Is there a couple of them? Are the men bringing the drama?
Yeah, some guys to keep an eye on. I'll just let you know. First of all, Yosef. He's a lawyer and definitely not afraid to express his beliefs to anybody, including Claire, and not afraid to debate and really get into it. He's a sweet guy. He's a dad, loves his daughter, but Yosef's one that is not afraid to mix it up and will. There's another guy, if you're a student of the game and a real fan, you might remember a name, Kalen. He was on Emily Maynard's season. He famously flew a helicopter in on night one to show everybody up. He was all about it. There's a guy, Bennett, who's on the show. He's a real character. He's from Harvard. He's a wealth manager, very Vineyard Vines, and very well-to-do and is not afraid to let you know as well. And he can kind of rub guys you know that guy that can be a little condescending?
Yep.
That's Bennett. He has a way of just talking to you where you feel about this big. Again, just someone to keep an eye on.
Now, we just were talking about Tyler C. Did you see the whole him and Hannah B reuniting?
I did.
You didn't, or did you?
I did. Yeah, I just saw, you mean here in LA, there was the quarantine crew, but yeah, he's out here in LA, I guess, visiting, and obviously Hannah lives here. So yeah, I know they're great friends. And so not a big shock that they are seeing each other.
You don't think there's anything more than just friends?
I know. Look, if there is something that we were all shipping during the pandemic, it was that relationship. But I think we realized during the quarantine crew that it's just not there. There is just a very strong friendship. But look, we can continue to ship this. There's nothing wrong with putting that out in the universe. And who knows? Look, at the end of the day, sometimes who do you fall in love with? Your best friend. Yeah. So just maybe we can all still just keep it going in the atmosphere and out there in the zeitgeist, and maybe it'll happen.
I love it. I also want to talk to you about Peter Weber. He recently implied that he's going to spill a lot of Bachelor tea when his NDA is up.
Oh, wow.
What is the tea?
Who knows? Who knows what he's going to tell us about Barbara and about windmills and about flying, and who knows about cutting his face. I can't wait to see it. Who knows what he's going to say? I did not hear him say that.
Yeah, but he implied that things were going on behind the scenes that he wasn't cool with. But
who knows? Look, everybody, irregardless of who you are and how great your season goes. And I'm glad he and Kelley have found each other and seemingly found true love, which is great. I love them both. But everybody has their perspective on how this goes. Everybody has their perspective on how they were treated and how different it was, and what insight they have. And there's been books and stuff. God bless him. That's great. I can't wait to hear it. I love Peter, so we'll see what he has to say.
I do want to talk about Bachelor Nation has released a new social media guidelines ahead of the new season. The franchise informed fans that there will be a zero tolerance policy towards hateful comments. Why do you think the show needed to do that?
Well, look, in this day and age, it is unfortunate of what we all deal with. This has nothing to do with the show. We all deal with this on social media. You see the loudest and often the crudest vocal minority screaming and yelling on Twitter, Instagram. People that are most of them are just trolling. Most of them are just fishing. Most of them there's even bots out there that are just putting up just nonsense and just trying to stir things up. But irregardless of who it is and how it's being done, it's just zero tolerance. There's just no place for it. And I see it on my own messages. I have a thick skin. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm an older guy set in my ways. It doesn't bother me as much. But I see the way that some of our bachelors, bachelorettes are treated, men, women, black, white, whatever. And there's just no room for it. And so if we can do something to help take a stand against it, because it does affect these people. And even my daughter goes through this. She's a 16-year-old girl. The things she sees and hears on social media, it's heartbreaking. It is horrible what they have to deal with. And I've told her this many times. I don't relish the fact that you're growing up in this time. I didn't have to deal with this when I was in college and in high school. Being a teenager is hard enough. And so for these young adults that are coming on the show, if we can help protect them in any way, that's the least we can do. And that's what we're going to try and start doing. We're not going to catch it all. It's not going to be perfect, but we're going to try our best.
And it really does seem that the show is changing for the better, because now we have our new first black male lead. So what does it mean to the franchise to have Matt James as the new Bachelor?
It's another step. It's another step in the right direction. I think the first step we took was important, and that was, years ago, and all admitting there's an issue. We need to do better. Then that allows you to get to the next step, which is just as important, and that is, what can we do? How do we make change? And we slowly started to make those changes. You saw it in Peter's season. Peter's season was easily the most diverse we've ever had. Claire's season, you've met the guys quite a lot. Obviously, Matt James being introduced. And it goes back to Rachel, even our first black bachelorette. These are all just steps in the right direction, and we will continue to do better. And that's all we can do. We haven't fixed this. It's not perfect. We will continue to take strides. And some of the changes you haven't seen, they're going to be behind the scenes in our hiring practices for our crew, promotions and hiring producers and promoting people behind the scenes. A lot of changes have been made behind the scenes as well that I'm really proud of. And again, it's all just change that needs to have taken place. And I hope we can be a part of good. Look, nobody gets into things, and I don't even think Twitter was invented with malice in mind, with all the horrible things, but terrible things have come out of it. Same thing with Instagram. There's wonderful things, don't get me wrong, but there's also some really bad. And when you see the bad, you got to try and change it. That's all you can do. Will the change happen fast enough for everybody? No, it won't. It never will. And you can't go through life trying to please everybody all the time, because you just won't. It's impossible. All we can do is the best we can.
Now, how do you think Matt James will do as Bachelor? I know you guys haven't started filming yet, because obviously you're still home. But have you given him
This is a green screen. This is a green screen.
You're actually already filming.
Yeah. No, that is one thing I can clear up. We have not started production yet. I read the other day that we had, and
Yes.
I quickly called and I said, guys, did Tyra Banks take my job? And so luckily, no. But we have not started yet. So we're all kind of getting into the bubble and quarantining in. Matt James is going to be an amazing Bachelor. There's a reason we named him early. There's a reason he was on our radar to begin with. He's an amazing man, smart, obviously easy to look at. He has the Tyler C abs he's bringing to the table, but he's a sweet, philanthropic guy. He's a family guy, loves his mama. I mean, I think these women are going to be lucky to have a guy like this to fall in love with. And we're lucky to have him as our Bachelor. He's the kind of guy that The Bachelor was built on, that diamond in the rough, that guy that everybody's lucky to have around. And I think we are going to really have a blast shooting with him. I'm not looking forward to our gym sessions, but I am looking forward to him being the Bachelor.
You're the world's most trusted expert on love, and you understand the importance on relying on trusted sources, especially when it comes to car buying, I've heard recently. So you need to tell us about your new partnership with Kelley Blue Book.
Yeah. So, well, since I was a kid, Kelley Blue Book has always been the most trusted source when you were buying a car, selling a car. I mean, I'm old enough, there was really a Kelley Blue Book, and you would look in the book and it was the Bible. That's what you went to before you bought a car because you knew you could trust it. It was the gold standard. Well, they've taken that to auto repair. I mean, look, when we were younger, we would, have a ping in our car, something would happen. What would we do? We'd call our dads. Well, I am a dad now. I have 2 young kids. They're driving used cars. I can't answer that call anymore. Kelley Blue Book is the new dad. They're the new dad call. They've created this auto repair guide. You go onto kbb.com, and what they've been doing for buying and selling cars, they're now doing for repairs. I don't know how much brakes cost. I don't know how to change an alternator anymore. Nobody does. Things are so advanced. So you go to kbb.com, you know how much it costs. You know about your repair, your maintenance, your recall. And then we take it a step further. You find your dealer, you set up your appointment. It's mindless. One-stop shopping. Your car's taken care of. Look, it's so vital. Our cars are so important in all seriousness. And as a dad, I want my kids to be safe, and putting them in a safe car is very important. And just knowing you have that security and someone you can trust, because I just don't know. I don't know how much it costs. I don't know where to go. And so this just takes the thought out of it. And again, it's the modern day dad call. You can feel good about it.